What's up, my people? This is going to be a short live transmission, but we're going to do something live right now. So, as you can see, some of the topics are Heather Hardy versus Amanda Serrano. We got Sor Abdullaev against Devin Haney. When we got a lot of other stuff to circulate and talk about in boxing, but we're going to try and keep it as brief as possible, and we're going to try and keep it as good as possible. All right. I see some people already started viewing. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So we are. I just finished exercising a little bit training and watching up on boxing and stuff. We're gonna talk some boxing now. For all you guys who talk about older guys getting back into boxing, of course, we all know that this British dude. You know who I'm talking about, guys. He's getting back into boxing at 55, and he's gonna do a thing or two in boxing. Roller Polo, you asked me a question. I did do the videos on it. It's in three parts, talking about how somebody can be fast tracked in boxing starting late. Because you're talking about the older guys like myself and so on. I'm going to tell you this though, you may have to go on a fight by fight basis. Like for example, me, if I'm going to go into boxing, I'm just having one professional fight or one amateur fight if I get that far. And depending on how that fight goes, I will determine if I move on and I might go on a fight by fight basis. All right. So that's how you can gauge yourself and say, okay, maybe I could do this. All right. It all depends on who you're matched with. It depends on a lot of different factors. So you can go check out the videos, as well as you can go and talk to matchmakers, as well as you can talk to Edward Bradley, the fight doctor, Precision Striking, various people, and they'll tell you a little bit more about how it works in boxing. Okay, let's talk about some of the topics. Amanda Serrano is a seven-divisional world champion. She's going to be facing Heather Hardy, who's a tough boxer, tough fighter, But I truly believe that Amanda Serrano will uh, will persevere in that fight. All right, Tangible Boxing. Shout out to you, Intangible Boxing. What's up, my brother? Can't wait to look you up on BoxRec. Yeah, man. That's if I do a professional fight, maybe an amateur fight. It depends. We'll see. But we are trying to get ourselves in shape. We're trying to get ourselves in order to be able to get into the boxing game. I'm getting stronger and stronger. I'm getting better and better at it. So we'll see how it goes. Um, but I just want to talk to you guys about a couple other things that I saw in boxing. I didn't get the chance to talk to you guys last night because I was very tired. And I got to get out of here just now and go and sell some stuff and then come back. But basically, Amanda Serrano is a seven-divisional world champion. And she was saying something which was really sad, that somebody like that, still has to go out there and sell tickets, still has to promote her own damn self, right? Heather Hardy actually is much more well known. When I did the poll, most people, because they know Heather Hardy, they don't know Amanda Serrano, are saying that Heather Hardy is going to win that fight. I just don't think so. I think Amanda Serrano is going to beat Heather Hardy. I think Amanda Serrano is then going to go on to face Katie Taylor. And Katie Taylor's known, and she has a big following. And I think Amanda Serrano might just beat Katie Taylor's ass as well. All right, because she's that good, and I think people just don't give her the respect that she deserves. Um, and on top of that, I think that Katie Taylor actually lost her last fight against that tough, rough and tumble in-house fighter. So it is what it is. But we haven't really talked a lot about women's boxing, and I think we need to keep it in the eyes of the people. The only people they talk about is Carissa Shields. They don't even talk about the welterweight undisputed champion. They don't talk about her either. It is what it is. But we need to talk more boxing, especially the women's boxing. And there's some really great outstanding women fighters, legendary women fighters, and one of them is Amanda Serrano. She basically has fought from bantamweight, I'm sorry, flyweight, super flyweight, all the way up to lightweight. She's fought, sorry, all the way up to welterweight. She's fought. It's crazy, seven divisions, right? And she goes up and down in weight. So it's crazy what she does. Um, we are talking about her versus Heather Hardy. I got Amanda Serrano winning that fight. Heather Hardy's going to bring it. She's going to be strong. She's going to try and bully Amanda Serrano around because, of course, Heather Hardy's a lot bigger than Amanda Serrano is. But I just don't think that she's going to persevere and win. I think Amanda Serrano has the greater boxing skill. She's southpaw. I think she has more power than Heather Hardy, and I think she's gonna manners her, and she might even stop Heather Hardy. I think somebody talked about that, stopping her in the 6th round. That may happen to Heather Hardy. She's gonna get beat up though, bad. But Heather Hardy's improving in her boxing skills as well. Nonetheless, Heather Hardy can't get those fights. You know, she wanted to get those fights and she couldn't get the fights. She finally got somebody who's really, really good, Amanda Serrano. So it should be a good fight. I'm looking forward to that fight. I'm also looking forward to um, Abdullaev versus Devin Haney. I researched a little bit of Sir Abdullaev, and he actually beat Hank Lundy. He fought Hank Lundy in Russia. Hank Lundy had a good account of himself, but Abdullaev, you know, he really did a good job of landing punches on Hank Lundy as well. I thought it was a competitive fight. I thought that the win was well deserved by Abdullaev. He's got good boxing skills, got good boxing IQ. Devin Haney looks like he want to kill him. We'll see what happens with that. But it's going to be a good test with Devin Haney for sure. We'll see what Devin Haney can bring to the table. Obviously, very skilled, very talented fighter. Just recently, his father said how, you know, Floyd couldn't touch him. I mean, he said Floyd touched him in a round or something like that when they were sparring, but after that, he couldn't touch him, which is very good to hear. I do not know if Devin Haney is related to Floyd Mayweather. He does resemble him. So it wouldn't be surprising that maybe Floyd's sister, he's the son of Floyd's sister or cousin or something like that. But Devin Haney is going to be facing Sir Abdullaev, and that's for the WBC title eliminator, which means he will be the mandatory, if he wins, to Vasily Lomachenko. And Devin Haney's been talking a lot about Vasily Lomachenko of late, talking about how he can beat him, that his style is custom made for him. Devin Haney's a big lightweight. You know, he could be easily a welterweight. So, you know, he's got reach advantage on, you know, Lomachenko. He's got height advantage on Lomachenko. So he could outbox him. That's what he's saying. I personally think, though, that if you don't know how to nullify what Lomachenko does, I think you can't beat him. All right? Like I said, I've already figured out Lomachenko. I know Lomachenko wants to go a certain direction. His way of entering into or getting into range is a specific sort of way. And no matter what he does, that's where he wants to go. And sometimes he uses strength to try and bully the opponent. Strangely, Luke Campbell was not the stronger guy between Lomachenko and himself. Lomachenko was the stronger guy, which is really quite amazing. You know, the kind of cardio and the work that Lomachenko does, conditioning. He hit Luke Campbell with some body shots that really got Luke Campbell's attention and finally dropped him. And, you know, if Luke Campbell was really physically strong, he would have been more like Keith Thurman with Pacquiao. He wouldn't have gone down at all. So I think that Luke Campbell was not a stronger guy than Lomachenko, even though he was a bigger guy. Now, it's totally different with Devin Haney. Devin Haney's a much stronger guy than Luke Campbell, I can tell you. Just looking at how he trains and what he does. So I would expect that Devin Haney, who also throws much straighter shots than Luke Campbell, will give Lomachenko a lot of problems. But I already picked Devin Haney, you know, Gervonta Davis, Manny Pacquiao, you know, Mikey Garcia, you know, these kinds of guys to beat Lomachenko. There are a number of them, right? But throughout history and stuff. Mainly because these guys, Lomachenko kind of still employs an amateur style, more or less. And he pretty much circles on the outside and he gets entry points to fight you. That's the way how he does things. But with guys like Devin Haney, guys like Gervonta Davis, guys like Mikey Garcia, guys like Manny Pacquiao, that's going to be a lot harder to do. Especially Manny Pacquiao has a lot faster hand speed, a lot faster foot speed, a lot more explosive, a lot more unorthodox. So I see Pacquiao beating Lomachenko. Lomachenko, though, has good boxing fundamentals. And, you know, I mean, he might do something against Pacquiao, even though I doubt it. I doubt it. This Pacquiao's too crafty right now. The only thing is, would Pacquiao be able to make the weight? Mikey Garcia, technician, just like Lomachenko, good power. Mikey Garcia would simply, again, technically take away from Lomachenko his game. His major game, Lomachenko's major game, it's a basic thing, is to get lead foot position and go weak side. That's Lomachenko's bread and butter. If you maintain distance, that is, you stay on the outside and you get on the inside and you infight him, there's nothing he can do. He's a mid-range fighter. So you take away his mid-range game, it's over. You know, with so guys like Mikey Garcia would beat him. Pacquiao would beat him. Even though Pacquiao's a mid-range fighter, he's just a lot more faster. He's a lot more unorthodox. He throws weirder combinations. Lomachenko would get dropped, okay, and stopped, I think, by Pacquiao. With guys like Gervonta Davis would stop him, and it's because of his boxing IQ that I say this. I think that guys like Devin Haney would probably outbox and probably stop him late. You know, these are not guys that you want to play around with. And I know there's a lot of young guns now. I even saw Leo Santa Cruz talking about he would want to face Lomachenko. Now, Leo Santa Cruz might get beat by Lomachenko, even though maybe not, because Leo Santa Cruz can infight and he can outbox. Again, that recipe of infighting and outboxing is the recipe to beat Lomachenko. All right, Lomachenko did pretty good against Luke Campbell because Luke Campbell not strong. You know, he physically was able to bully him a bit, land some really hard shots on him. Ain't gonna happen with a guy like Leo Santa Cruz, even though he's a smaller guy coming up in weight. Leo Santa Cruz is very strong, got a good textbook jab. I think Lomachenko might be able to pivot around him. You know, he might be able to pivot around him. If Leo Santa Cruz, you know, doesn't apply that jab and use that proper pivot work to make sure that Lomachenko doesn't get to the inside of him. But if Lomachenko can get to preferred range, it's over. You know, I can't say that Leo Santa Cruz would beat him. That's a fight I'd have to see. I think Lomachenko might beat Leo Santa Cruz. I think Lomachenko might beat. Well, he already beat Gary Russell Jr. And Gary Russell Jr. made a big mistake against Lomachenko, circling the wrong direction, and not having distance control. He didn't know how to control distance or anything. It was in the spirits anyway. Lomachenko. A lot of people talking about Lomachenko's overrated. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell y'all like this. Lomachenko, when you look at the facts surrounding Lomachenko, those facts are not overrated. Lomachenko has had very few fights. And the kind of learning curve this brother came into the boxing with is better than Oscar De La Hoya. I mean, this dude in his second fight was in a championship fight. In his second fight, y'all, he was at championship level already. All right? And got a close loss to Salido. I mean, you can't, like this dude be fighting everybody else and beating them. And we talking about championship level fights. This dude's at a number of championship level fights. So you can't, no. You can't say he's overrated in that respect. The facts are right there. All right? When you look at, you know, he's in the pound for pound rankings because of that. When you look at the quality of opposition he's faced, they've been good to excellent. Guillermo Rigondeaux just basically authenticated him. You know, Guillermo Rigondeaux was the top of the smaller weight divisions, and he beat Guillermo Rigondeaux, made Guillermo Rigondeaux quit. All right, so you can't look at Lomachenko and be like, I know Guillermo Rigondeaux was smaller than him, but still, you can't look at Lomachenko and be like, you know, this guy's overrated in that respect. These are facts. They're laid down. So when people say, oh, Lomachenko's overrated and stuff, no, not in that respect. Now, in respect to people talking about him being, you know, the Matrix and he's the greatest thing since sliced bread and all that shit, no, I don't agree with that. That's overrating him. But he's a hell of a lot better boxer than Gennady Golovkin. Hell of a lot better boxer than Gennady Golovkin. Gennady Golovkin is, y'all must be saying, oh man, you a Gennady Golovkin. I'm not. I'm just a realist. I'm a realistic person. Gennady Golovkin ain't got no defense like Lomachenko. You know, Lomachenko reminds me of Usyk, of course, and Govordik and Bivol. And if you look at Bivol, Govordik, and Usyk, they find those spaces, those gaps in your defense. If your defense is not on point, they find those gaps and they just land combinations on you. They don't just throw one punch; they throw a combination of punches on you. And that's the kind of guy. Lomachenko's like a buzzsaw. He's got perpetual motion. He's moving around. You come on the inside when he finds a spot that's open and he exploits it, or he sets it up with feints and then opens you up, and then he comes in with his shots. So that's what Lomachenko basically does. And it works for him. You know. And a lot of these Eastern European fighters don't really know how to infight. You know, Lomachenko don't really know how to infight. You know, and he don't know how to deal with a guy that could keep him at range. He doesn't really know how to do that. He intensifies himself and he tries to use more force on guys who can keep him at bay. So he doesn't really have a solution to it. And if you let him circle out and reset, well, obviously you're stupid. You don't let him circle out and reset. You cut off the ring, make him go the direction you want him to go in, and you make him respect distance. So it's how you circle him on the ring makes him respect distance. You see, and these are just little things that this is boxing. You look at Floyd with Pacquiao. He did the same thing Floyd did with Pacquiao. Floyd basically circled a certain way, taking away Pacquiao's game from him. So Pacquiao couldn't come in and do anything to Floyd because Floyd was actually cutting off the angle of approach that Pacquiao usually wants to use. It was the same thing with Lomachenko. You just circle a certain way. You cut off that angle that Lomachenko wants to use, and you now open up opportunities and angles for yourself. You didn't even push him back by just getting foot position on him. So that's what I was trying to say. I already solved Lomachenko. I know how to solve him. I don't know how to solve Canelo. I don't know how to solve Floyd. I don't know how to solve Pernell Whitaker. I don't know how to solve Andre Ward. These guys, they got all-around game. Well, not Pacquiao, but did I say Pacquiao? I didn't say Pacquiao, did I? We already know Pacquiao solved. Canelo has an all-around game. Even though he don't have an outside, he boxed a little bit on the outside, but he's not really an outside fighter. So some of these guys, you got to have all-around game to beat them, period. So talking about that, there's also, I saw in the news recently, talk about Andre Ward and how good he was. And, they were talking about BoxRec rankings. And if you go and look at the different divisions, you would see who, over all time, you'd see the best people that BoxRec ranked. I don't agree with everything that they do, but it is what it is. So when I look, Joe Kazaki was ranked above Andre Ward in the super middleweight division. And truthfully, Andre Ward had faced a number of super middleweights, and he did well. He was the leading super middleweight, as the WBC, WBA champion. Kazaki did a little bit more, I think. They had a lot more fights. So, I understand why Kazaki's ahead of Ward. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is, like, a lot of people, all right, this is how you know how good a boxer is. Kazaki versus Ward. Who do you guys think would win? Ward or Kazaki? Let me hear your opinion. Let me see what you guys think. Andre Ward versus Usyk, Alexander Usyk. Who do you think would win? Andre Ward versus Bivol. Who do you think would win? Andre Ward versus Gavordik. Who do you think would win? Andre Ward versus Artur Beterbiev. Who do you think would win? Right? Andre Ward versus Badou Jack. Andre Ward versus Marcus Brown. Andre Ward versus Jean Pascal. Andre Ward versus Callum Smith. Andre Ward versus Caleb Plant. Andre Ward versus that kid, what's his name? Anthony Durrell. Andre Ward versus what's that kid? 168. The Gypsy kid. You guys know what I'm talking about. The Gypsy kid, right? If Andre Ward went up against that guy, who would win? Billy Joe Saunders, right? And Billy Joe Saunders look like, I'm hearing talk about Billy Joe Saunders facing Gabe Rosado. That sounds like a good matchup. Gabe Rosado coming off of a loss, yeah, but he looked like he almost stopped the guy. I think it was Solenki, right? Solenki almost got knocked out by Gabe Rosado, right? It was a good fight. What I'm basically saying is this. That when you think about it, what's the answer to those questions? Andre Ward versus anybody right now, currently in boxing, that's somewhere around his weight class. Triple G, Canelo, Danny Jacobs, Andre Ward versus Bernard Hopkins, for crying out loud. Andre Ward versus anybody. And there's almost instantaneously, you guys got to say Andre Ward, right? And it's not only because he didn't lose a fight, but also because of the manner in which he won fights, the manner in which he stepped up to the table and beat people, and the kind of boxing game this guy had, right? You look at his boxing game, and It's incredible. He had an inside fighting skills. He had outboxing skills. He could fight mid range, right? And he was a dog as well. And he would bring the fight to you. That's Andre Ward. And technically he's just on point. And for a long time he just had one arm. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when you look at Andre Ward, that's the kind of quality of fighter you're talking about. And I don't care who is out there. They can say he's boring. They can say he fight dirty. They can say all kinds of crap. But at the end of the day, that's excuses. Andre Ward is, in terms of all time, that man is right up there with the very, very best. He may not be the best boxer of all time, but he's close to the top. He's somewhere in the top, 15, top 15, top 20 best boxers of all time. Right? If he had a little bit more fights, he'd be up there even higher. Unfortunately for Andre Ward, he didn't have the opportunity to fight, all-time greats. Kazaki got the opportunity to fight Bernard Hopkins and Roy Jones Jr., Chris Eubank Jr. You know what I'm saying? But Andre Ward didn't have that opportunity. So that's the difference. But I mean, he's solid all around. I mean, people talk about Roy Jones Jr. beating Andre Ward, and I'm looking at him like, nah, that was never gonna happen. And Andre Ward loves Roy Jones Jr., so he wouldn't say nothing about that. But honestly, Roy Jones Jr. ain't gonna beat Andre Ward. He's not gonna beat him. Andre Ward, in every single fight, finds out what the fighter brings to the table, and then he not only takes what the fighter brings to the table from him, but he literally, will bring his game and impose his game on that fighter. Sergey Kovalev knocked down Bernard Hopkins twice. Almost knocked his ass out in the 12th round. Andre came in, dropped, solid drop, but it was a flash knockdown kind of like. Got back up and whooped that man's ass from round 4 to round 12. Then continued that ass whooping. Continued that body assault in the second fight, where the fight ended in round 6. People talk about low blows and shit like that. Oh, no, it wasn't. It wasn't a low blow. He beat his ass, right? Now, what I'm saying is, Andre Ward on a totally different level to everybody else. He was one of those boxers that, unfortunately for him, existed in a time when Floyd Mayweather was around. But, no Floyd Mayweather around, Andre Ward dominates boxing. Okay? And, this guy did everything right, and they still called him boring, which is sad. All you got to do is Tyson Fury boring? Let me ask y'all that. Is Tyson Fury boring? Right? His Pianetta fight, was that great? That was an exciting fight. The other one before the Pianetta fight, was it exciting? You know what I'm saying? This bum, he fighting 2 bums right now. Now, I'm not even talking about that this weekend. Because it's so fucking disgraceful. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, he gets a pass on all this shit. And Ward trying to make a mistake and do something like that. With known fighters. And everybody goes in on Ward. Oh, Ward, And that's the sad thing about it. Andre Ward is a much fucking better fighter than Tyson Fury. Why? Easy. Tyson Fury gets dropped. Tyson Fury can move and slip and slide. He's a tall guy. He can fight on the outside. He can fight on the inside. But Tyson Fury depends on one very important thing. Nobody talks about it. And Deontay Wilder about to get some little tip right here. Tyson fucking Fury depends on his height and his fucking reach. That's his bread and butter. He might do all those head movement and stuff, but at the end of the day, he's more an outboxer than he's an infighter. That's the truth. He can infight a little bit, but he's really an outboxer. Okay? Andre Ward is a much more complete fighter than Tyson Fury. Much more. All right? And if it was Andre Ward versus Tyson Fury, I had to pick a winner, I ain't going with Tyson Fury. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going with Andre Ward. he got you know, they talk about Usyk versus Ward, and they talking about Usyk got a longer reach and stuff. What that had to do with anything? Vasily Lomachenko handled Luke Campbell. Luke Campbell had a 6-inch reach. What that mean? It don't mean shit. Andre Ward would get to the inside of those guys like Usyk and drop some heat on him. He would drop some heat on him. I mean, Usyk would be perfect opponent for Ward because it's not no super tall guy. You know, Usyk's just like what, 6'3"? You know what I'm saying? And Ward was thinking of taking on Anthony Joshua. So I'm just saying that, you know, a lot of people don't understand and appreciate Andre Ward. Fought the number one guy in the 175-pound division. He fought the very best. He never shook anybody, never ducked or dodged nobody. Right? So I just want to talk about him. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat section. I don't see anybody chatting back at me. So I'm going to get out of here. It's almost 5 o'clock. I'm going to talk to you guys later about boxing. I hope you guys have a good day. I just wanted to talk a couple of things about that because Andre Ward has never been truly appreciated for what he's done in the sport of boxing, even though everybody know once you mention his name, whoever the opponent is going to get his ass beat. Everybody know that. It's like a given. You know, you say Ward versus Canelo's going to get beat. You say Ward versus any one of them young champions right now, you know they're going to get beat. Jessica Jimeno says, thanks for another insightful video. Hey, you're going to check out Jimeno, you're going to check out Hardy versus Serrano. That's going to be a good ass fight. I'm telling y'all now. Because, you know, Heather Hardy's going to bring it. You know, Amanda Serrano, she got the skills. Hopefully she uses that skills to separate herself from Heather Hardy. She got good power too. So it should be a good fight. But yeah, I just wanted to talk this stuff, boxing with you guys. It's good to see you guys as true boxing fans. I got a poll for you guys to check out and see what you guys got to say about this part of the poll. So this poll, by the way, I'm going to talk about Abdullah. Man, that thing ties up my mouth. Abdullaev. That's the name. I want to talk about him a little bit more. His style is very interesting. You know, he fights from distance, but he can also fight on the inside and mirror age, which is kind of unique for an Eastern European fighter, honestly speaking. But hopefully, we'll see what happens if he's going to upset the cart with Devin Haney. I think Devin Haney's not looking past him, so it should be a good fight. Anyway, guys, man, don't forget you can donate to my channel by Western Union MoneyGram. Let me know, though, so that I can give you my information, because you'll need to know my information to be able to add the Western Union MoneyGram. And I know some of you guys want to donate to my channel, so please feel free to do so. I'm your boy, What You Need. You know my channel. Peace to you guys. It's almost 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but I still got to go out there and work a little bit and come back. You guys have a good one.